In 2025, global risks to business will be driven by power vacuums and polarisation, conflict and political violence, and the double-edged sword of technological advancement. There is significant risk tied to the United States losing traction and disengaging from critical arenas and domains. A web of geopolitical red lines will require heightened vigilance from organisations. Trade warfare will squeeze global business amid competing policies and measures. Political violence in all its forms will become more frequent and overt. And the concentration of digital risk into centralised technological ecosystems will threaten disruption on a global scale. These are our top risks for the year ahead. Many of the risks presented by the United States are locked in regardless of who is in the White House. The Trump presidency layers on uncertainty. Despite a wealth of investment opportunity, polarised politics and structural political dysfunction will make the US an increasingly challenging market, and its ability to drive the agenda and enforce rules globally is diminishing. Organisations must be prepared for a world that is more fluid, flexible, and volatile. Red lines. From the Ukraine-Russia war to the Middle East to the South China Sea, will drive geopolitical risks to business in 2025. Companies need to understand which red lines to watch, when they are being crossed, and how to respond. While these are calibrated to avoid major escalation, no one knows for sure where the red lines are. Organisations must be ready for rapid changes in regional and global stability. Trade warfare is escalating. While China leans on manufacturing exports, advanced and developing economies will resort to industrial policy and protective trade tools. The US and EU are already raising their defences, while China is poised to retaliate with its own tariffs, sanctions and export controls. A new phase of tit-for-tat restrictions will dent domestic and global growth prospects. Organisations will find themselves squeezed by competing policies and measures. "2025 will see a rise in political violence. The global threat from jihadists is likely to increase in 2025, along with state-sponsored attacks, right-wing violence, and lone wolf attacks. 4 global factors will contribute to political violence in 2025: geopolitical rivalry, political polarisation, online radicalisation, and emerging technologies. In this climate, organisations should prepare for more diverse and less predictable threats. Risk is concentrating in centralised technological ecosystems. Reliance on a few major providers escalates the threat of systemic risks and global disruptions, and the proliferation of connected and autonomous devices in critical infrastructure and consumer products creates new vulnerabilities for disruptive cyber attacks. To survive in the face of relentless disruption, organisations will need adaptability, innovation, and resilience. Those are the top risks for 2025. Visit controlrisks.com/riskmap to explore each of these risks in more detail. And if you're looking for something a bit more bespoke, book an in-house risk map briefing with our global experts to take a deeper dive into what our top risks mean for your organisation.